Okay, so the next little example we're going to look at is a scatter plot. Now, scatter plots are used when we're not interested in the order of the data. We're really just interested in kind of the relationship between variables. And quite often you utilize scatter plots to, before you utilize any analytic or statistical methodology, just to have a kind of a quick look at the data and look for relationships. So here's a simple data set. This is house prices and the square feet of the house. So you would imagine these are kind of going to be related. The larger houses are probably going to have higher market value, but the relationship is obviously not going to be perfect. So just kind of select everything. Now go to insert, and we have chart here, and chart is scatter. Now, if you look at this, you'll notice that we talked about the intelligence of Excel. It wasn't very intelligent on this axis. So if you click one of the axes, let's just click the bottom one and format axis, that actually has the bounds for the axis. So let's just have a look at this. Let's start it at like 1,200 square foot, as we don't have any houses in this market less than 1,200 square foot. Now again, go to the other axis, right click, format axis, and we don't have any less than, say, 50,000. We don't have any house prices less than 50,000. And that gives us a little bit better. So here we go. Let's make it a little bit larger. One thing I don't think I've done so far, if you click on any of the axes, you can actually make the font a little bit bigger or smaller. But tell you what, let's just first add the usual elements. So axis, titles, primary horizontal, square feet. Add chart element, axis titles, primary vertical, and that's just put selling price, and we'll just put like home market value. And again, we can play a little bit around with some of the styles. We can change what we actually show in terms of dots. We can have something like this. But let's just do something a little bit different. So let's add a chart element, and this is a trend line. And we're just going to add a simple kind of linear trend here. So we're going to add chart element, trend line, linear trend, and this just shows the relationship. Now, we haven't, I'm sure as a prerequisite, you've covered regression before. We obviously haven't gone through it in this class, but we're looking at the model, predict the selling price based on the square feet. So we can click on this little kind of trend line here, and let's just put display equation and display R squared. So again, we'll talk about this more in the regression, but the R squared is the strength of the relationship, the variance accounted for. And this is just a model saying that, for each additional square foot, the house is liable to be worth, on average, an extra $35. The 32,000, the beta zero in the regression, that's not really relevant as it's outside of the range of the regression. That's the selling price for a house of 0 square foot, which really isn't meaningful in this example. And let's just kind of make these a little bit bigger. So all you do is click on the axis, and let's make this size 10, as we have room. It's size 10. And let's actually make these things bold. Just to give you an example, let's make the title bold as well. And there we go. That's our finished graph.